Interesting. How many people here have ever been to a doctor? How many people walk into the doctor's office to have the doctor look at you and say, "Wow, you've got that condition. You should do something about that." Ever happened to you? Have you ever seen a doctor cure themselves? Have you ever cut yourself, gone to a friend or spouse with a finger bleeding and said, "I cut myself"? And they say, "Yeah, that looks pretty bad. You should heal that." We don't do that, do we? We have sympathy for people who are sick. Have you noticed that? We have sympathy for people who are sick. "Oh, that's too bad. Oh, we'll do something with that. We'll work to make that better." People worry when they're ill, and others worry with them and care for them. And we have places where we go when we're sick. Hospitals, hospice cares, doctor's offices, clinics, groups, places, therapies, specialists. And we recognize the validity of being ill. We have a wonderful healthcare system. We claim that the Canadian healthcare system is one of the best in the world. Then we grumble about it, but how much it's not working for us. Did you know that you are part of the healthcare system? Did you know that you are part of the healthcare system? In the ancient days of the Greeks and other ancient peoples, and you'll see it. Do we have it in here? Often you'll see a symbol of God and it's three circles. Have you seen that? They intersect. The reason for that is that we talk about God the Father, Son, and Spirit, right? The Greeks took those symbols and said body, soul, or body, spirit, or emotions, and mind. And where they intersect is the soul. And to be part of the healthcare system is to take care of all of that. Take care of the emotional well-being of someone, take care of the intellectual well-being of someone, and to take care of the physical well-being of someone. And we give a lot of validity to those parts of the healthcare system that look after our mental illnesses and our mental well-being. We give a lot of validity to that part of the system that looks after our body. But we're part of that system that looks after the emotional well-being of people. That's where you fit. What this congregation does is when someone comes in and needs a hug, they get the hug. I've learned a lot about health from little children. When they scrape their knee, even though the scrape is not evident, they knew they fell, they knew they had a little boo-boo, they knew that it hurt, and they want a Band-Aid. And what they really want is not just a Band-Aid applied to their leg with a perfunctory, "Oh, there's a Band-Aid, get lost." They want the Band-Aid put on with love and care and the hug and the lifting up and the honoring that they've had something happen to them in their life. When we have been sick, one of the things that makes us physically better is emotional healing. Some organizations within the Church of Christ understand that. Others, they're more busy about being programs or certain, structured activities. We all get caught up in the governance issues, but then you come across those nuggets of congregations that are like this one, where a person can actually come in hurting and discover healing. So when you think back and when you think forward, you think about what it means to be a part of the healthcare system of God. Part of those group of people who are willing to accept people where they are, not where they think they should be, or where others have pegged them. Think about what it means to be a place where faith can grow and live, where forgiveness can be offered, where hope can be instilled, and where the flame of love and life and grace can continue to glow. Being a church, being a congregation, is not about being perfect. You know, we have examples of perfection, but, we don't want to name who they are. But every one of you knows which one you are. But we all want to know that however perfectly imperfect we are going to be accepted where we are. That's what these dark brown benches are about. That's what this structure has done. As I came here this morning, I actually sat for about 10 minutes in the back of the church, looking around the cemetery and realizing I have served a lot of congregations in my 30 years in ministry. Some of them have had cemeteries near them. Some of them have had cemeteries next to them. This is the only one I've ever served that was actually completely or almost completely surrounded by a cemetery. And I looked out over 300 years of history embracing this congregation, and I saw 300 years of people coming in all various forms of transportation, on foot, on horseback, and wagon cart, barefoot, well-shod, firm clothes, Sunday go to meeting best, all of it. And I realized that what they all had in common was when they walked through those doors, somebody knew their name. Somebody actually recognized them. That somebody was with them through the ups and downs of every moment and day of their life. Not all, but always enough to make a difference. Always enough to be a part of the life and make them feel a part of the healing. And of course, there can be only one way for me to end a brief message about this congregation. And as I so like to express myself in other people's songs, because if you ever heard me make music, you'd ask me to use someone else's. I need to share this with you.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure could help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where all see troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where you know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
It may have been a simple bar in Boston or a small congregation in Kingston, Ontario. But wherever God gathers people in good faith and grace and uses them to share that love which exists in this world, then those places are blessed. And that blessing continues unto all the people who gather within its confines. And so you can look around and decide who's Norm and who's Cliff. Your choice. But you can know that every one of them was important, and every one of them was a part of the full story. The story of this congregation is not finished, and cannot be finished as long as the love of God rules in at least one heart. May God's blessing be with you. Amen.